Today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 72, text 1 and 2, 1 through 3. Here we have text 1 through 2. Shishuka uvacha ekadatu sabhamatya asito munibhirvitaha brahmanai kshatrair vaishyair Bharata Brischa Yudhishthiraham Acharyai Kula Vriddhaischa Gyati Sambandai Bandavaihi Shrimvantam Eva Chaitesham Abhasyedam Uvachaha. Translation. Shukadev Goswami said, one day, as King Yudhishthira sat in the royal assembly surrounded by eminent sages, brahmanas, kshatriyas, and vaishyas, and also by his brothers, spiritual masters, family elders, blood relations, in-laws, and friends, he addressed Lord Krishna as everyone listened. Text 3. Shri Yudhishthira uvacha kraturajena govinda rajasuyena pavanaihi yakshe vibhutir bhavatas tat sampadayana prabho. Translation. Shri Yudhishthira said, O Govinda, I desire to worship your auspicious opulent expansions by the Rajasuya sacrifice, the king of Vedic ceremonies. Please make our endeavor a success, my lord. Purport. Srila Sridhar Swami states that the word Vibhutihi refers to Lord Krishna's expansions, Amshan, and Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur further explains that here the word Vibhutihi refers to Lord Krishna's opulent expansions within this world, such as the demigods and other empowered beings. Thus, Srila Prabhupada treats this verse as follows in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord Krishna, the sacrifice known as the Rajasuya Yagya is to be performed by the emperor, and it is considered to be the king of all sacrifices. By performing this sacrifice, I wish to satisfy all the demigods who are your empowered representatives within this material world. And I wish that you will kindly help me in this great adventure so that it may be successfully executed. As far as the Pandavas are concerned, we have nothing to ask from the demigods. We are personally fully satisfied by being your devotees. As you say in the Bhagavad Gita, persons who are bewildered by material desires worship the demigods, but our purpose is different. I want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice and invite the demigods to show them that they have no power independent of you. They are all your servants, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons with a poor fund of knowledge consider your lordship an ordinary human being. Sometimes they try to find fault in you, and sometimes they defame you. Therefore, I wish to perform the Rajasuya Yagya. I wish to invite all the demigods, beginning from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other exalted chiefs of the heavenly planets. And in that great assembly of the demigods from all parts of the universe, I want to substantiate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that everyone is your servant. Amagyanatimirandasya ginanjana shvakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadasi Svapatantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai. Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to request all of you to please bless me so that I may speak something which is in line with our Guru Parampara, which is purifying to our hearts, and that our hearts become fertile ground for this sublime message to take root on. Today, we're beginning a new chapter. We're beginning chapter 72, which is the killing of Jarasandha. And it begins with this first two with this first pastime of the Lord, who has just come to Indraprastha. he was being called by the Pandavas, and he came there, and it is said that here that King Yudhisthira is addressing Krishna in an assembly of very important people. Now, when looking at the commentaries by the acharyas, I was seeing like, okay, can we get some more information of what happens here? So it says here that when it says here the what was it ekada, uh, one day, they explain that this ekada means like after a few days of just resting, of okay, like uh, let's because Krishna came, so after a few days of rest, okay, let's assemble all together. And uh, it is said here that as everyone listened, well, it they go further on to say that King Yudhisthira was addressing Krishna completely, neglecting everybody else. It was just like okay, I'm speaking to you like directly. Whatever, however important people are here, you are the most important one. I'm talking to you. Uh, and what did he say? What did he say to them? So that's what the next verse is telling us. He's saying that I desire to worship your opulent, auspicious, opulent expansions. Right? He said I want to do a yagya for what? For the to and what are these expansions? So from Sridhar Swami, which the disciples of Prabhupada said here, he is these expansions, these vibhuti, they are amshan, the demigods, basically the suras. I want to do this yagya for the suras. Now, for somebody like Maharaj Yudhishthira, who is a complete devotee, he is 100% devoted to the Lord, and knowing that as Dharmaraj, he knows perfectly well the scriptures, he knows everything. He knows that it said here in the Bhagavad Gita, persons who are bewildered by material desires worship the demigods. So why would he want to worship the demigods? Why is he asking Krishna, hey, please help our endeavor help make our endeavor a success. Please help us do this sacrifice, this huge sacrifice that takes incredible amounts of time and energy and money to do this Rajasuya sacrifice to worship the demigods. Because this is not just a small little sacrifice. It's not just like, okay, bring in some coconuts and some bananas and you know put the little a few pieces of wood and let's make a yagya here. And if we want to make it like really opulent, then let's just make like little designs around the fire yagya. No, 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 no. This is the Rajasuya yagya, which begins with having all of this like great yagya uh, for to bless a horse, and this horse is supposed to just go out into the world, and for a whole year, an army has to go with that horse. Wherever that horse goes, that army goes, and wherever it goes into, that army has to challenge the king of that region, and has to say to those people, hey, this is the horse coming for the Rajasuya sacrifice from Yudhishthir, and you are supposed to pay taxes and homage to this king. And if they accept that, saying that okay, we accept that you come do that, then there is no problem. Then they can just keep following the horse. But if they don't want to pay tax, if they don't want to basically, and by paying tax, meaning that they're not submitting to the rule of Yudhishthira, then there has to be a fight. That's why it's an army that goes there, because there's going to be a fight until they are defeated, and then they keep going with the horse. So the horse has to go like that for a whole year, wherever that horse goes. That's why there are these first uh, yagyas for that horse, so that it can be guided properly by the demigods to go to the places, to all the places throughout the world, uh, and be successful in it. So after that year, then the most important people are invited. The most important people in the world are invited to come in. Now, that's not just like, okay, so and so is coming. No, 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 no. When you say so and so is coming, it means he is coming. His minister, that king is coming. His ministers are coming. His armies are coming, and you have to host them. You have to host all of them. So for that, you have to have a place for that, and it's not just okay. Can we put them in? The in some hotel. No, you have to build a whole palace for them. For each and every one of those guests, you have to build a palace with stables, and with quarters for the servants, and quarters for everybody. So because they're going to be there for quite a few days. Remember that in India everything takes many many days. Yagya is not just one afternoon. No, it's going to be a couple of days, and so make this whole thing. And obviously, it has to be a palace fit for a king. So there has to be all of this great opulence in it. There has to be jewels. There has to be gold and precious metals and all of these things. So imagine doing that for each and every one of these people. It takes a huge amount of money. It takes a huge amount of time to do all of this, right? Uh, and so this is what King Yudhishthira is saying, like, okay, I want to make this type of sacrifice. Please help it make it be a success, because it takes so much. So why is he wanting to do that? Generally, the Rajasuya sacrifice is to ask for something, like all of the yagyas. Okay, so now you've invited all these important people, and by the yagya you're inviting the demigods. And what are you going to ask? Generally, they ask, okay, I want to be powerful. I want to have uh, so much power, and opulence, and influence. I want to have children, uh, that will continue my line, and all of these things. But that is not what the Pandavas are about here. In the from the Krishna book, we're personally hearing that it said, but our purpose is different. I want to perform this Rajasuya sacrifice and invite the demigods to show them that they have no power independent of you. It says, I want to substantiate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that everyone is your servant. So that is what King Yudhishthira wants. He wants to do this great sacrifice and all that, not for himself, not for the Pandavas, not for his people, and that he wants to do it for Krishna, for the sake of Krishna. So that is a devotee. They're not going to the demigods asking for things for themselves. They will ask them if they go at all to the demigods, which they generally don't. But if they go at all, is to ask for them. We have examples, right? Of we have the example of the gopis, that they went to Katyayani, the goddess Katyayani, who normally grants the benediction to go and have a good husband. But what they ask for, they really ask for, I want to have we want to have a good husband of, specifically Krishna. That's what we want to have. When all these people, all these people in Braja, all these devotees in Braja, when they're praying to the demigods, what are they asking? Please, help our little Krishna. Have them completely protected from any harm. Please give him good health, and all these things for Krishna's sake. So in their love for Krishna, they don't see Krishna as somebody that they just want to get things from, but somebody who they want to give things to. They want to serve Krishna in that form. And this is very important. This is very important for us here, because what Yudhishthira here is doing is something that we should all be doing in our lives, and is, how can I substantiate that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? All of us, we can do that in different ways, right? So, for example, you have George Harrison. George Harrison, he used his music. He said, "Okay, I'm going to help First of all, he made songs with the Mahamantra in it, so people knew about the Mahamantra from that, and he also helped the devotees produce a record that became one of the top records in one of the top songs in Europe for a couple of weeks. So everybody throughout the world was hearing the Mahamantra, and everybody was liking the Mahamantra. That was his way of doing it, of putting Krishna, of glorifying Krishna. That was his way of glorifying Krishna. Maybe you're a cook. Oh, how can I, do that if I'm a cook? Well, we see Mother Yamuna, right? She was a cook, and what did she do? She wrote a book about cooking. But in that book about cooking, she put Krishna to be that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it won so many awards. And so many people got to got to read about Lord Krishna, because they were interested in cooking. They got interested in cooking, and they read about Krishna. So she was glorifying Krishna through her cooking. We have the Bhaktivedanta Institute, which also is trying to glorify Krishna through science. So whatever a devotee does, he is trying to find ways. He or she is taxing his or her brain to see, how can I glorify Krishna? And it may not look directly like, it may not always look directly like, okay, surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or or you will go to hell. It may look like this, like producing a record glorifying Krishna, writing a book to glorify Krishna, doing research that glorifies Krishna. How can we find ways to glorify Krishna through what we do every day? That's important. Our minds, they're very powerful, but if we don't use them for this purpose, then they go all around the place, and we can see how much havoc they can cause. An uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy. And so, uh, if a person is constantly just thinking about how can I do this, they're purifying. Actually, one of the things that I was reading in the commentaries is that this word in the shloka 3, pavanehi, purifying, it said that the mind uh, becomes purified, the mind becomes satisfied when when uh, when hearing about Krishna, becomes purified and satisfied by hearing about Krishna. It says there uh, by the kirtan of Krishna's glories, by the uh, by by the hearing of Krishna's glories, then the mind becomes purified, and that is why uh, Yudhishthira wanted to do this, because he knew that by and it says there in the I, which one was it? Can't remember right now the name of the commentator, but he said basically Yudhishthir wanted everyone to become purified by hearing Krishna's glories and uplift them. He wanted to uplift everybody by being purified by that sound vibration. He said, and he was quoting Uddhava, where Uddhava was saying how eager he was to see the Lord, all of these lords uh, that would be coming from around the earth, being impelled by the demigods to worship Krishna. Because of the demigods, like such important demigods as Brahma, Shiva, and so on, if they're glorifying Krishna, then everybody else has to glorify Krishna. So all of these people that are being very uh, antagonistic towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the presence of the demigods, they have to worship Krishna, because all of them, they're worshiping Krishna. Because the fact is that Krishna, as the purport here was saying today, he looks kind of ordinary. I mean, he has two hands. He lives in a village. You know, he likes to steal butter. He has many girlfriends. You know, he kind of looks like ordinary. And in fact, some people even not only take him as ordinary, but some people even say like, oh, he is so immoral that he has so many girlfriends, and he is not marrying any of them like that. But it's like, wait, hold on. All the demigods who you worship, they're worshiping him. Therefore, you have to bow down to him as well. That is what what Yudhishthira wants to establish, that this is not an ordinary person. This is not just somebody that you can brush off. This is an important person, and just because he doesn't uh, you know display his grandeur all the time doesn't mean that you can just dismiss him, because that Krishna is not that type of God. That's Narayan. Narayan is the one that displays, his might, his power like that, and that is why everybody, oh, Lord Narayan. But Krishna is like, I don't need to do that. That's not me. That's uh, if you have a lot of power, you don't need to show it, right? You need to be displaying it. If you have really a lot of money, well, for example, yeah, you look at the most. at the richest people in the world. Are they loaded up? Do they have rings in every finger and a crown and like that? No, you see them and they're wearing t-shirts and jeans, right? They have no need to display that because they know it. They know what they have. Similarly, Krishna, he doesn't need to display it. And what's more, he wants to have that one-on-one kind of relationship with his devotees, which is generally is not allowed to. But if there is this display of grandeur, Krishna is more about that one-on-one kind of feeling. He is his Rasa Raj. He wants that rasa. He wants that mellow. He wants that interaction. He wants that love, and that is why he doesn't really care to display, this great power all the time. And if we really want to get to know this Krishna, then hearing about his glories is important. This 10th canto is all about hearing about his pastimes and becoming attracted to him, getting to know him like, oh, wow, look, this is what God really is like. And uh, sometimes we tend to forget most people don't know who God is, right? How many people have heard of really like who God is, what he's like, what his personality is like, and everything. And generally, in most religions, there is a general description of God as just all powerful, and that's it. But it's not a description of who he is, just of a little bit of some opulences that he has. So it is so important for us to like really uh, tell the world, you can fall in love with him. This is a person who is so amazing that you can fall in love with. And here is what he is like. He has a great sense of humor. Krishna has an incredible sense of humor. Uh, he has a deep voice, shoulders, broad shoulder, right? His hair is tends to be wavy. Beautiful lips. Uh, his teeth like strings of pearls. He has friends. He has friends that love him, not for what he has, but for who he is really. He has parents that love him like anything. His relationship with his parents is actually a healthy relationship. How many of us even have that? He is he has stable relationships with everyone. This is somebody who you want to be friends with, and he is very kind. It's not about justice. It's about mercy. And so you start learning about him and learning about his devotees and what they're like. And you go like, oh wow, these people are people that I can hang out with. These are people that I want to associate with. It's people that they have an incredible community in the spiritual world that we want to be a part of. And actually, to be able to be part of that community, we have to come up to that standard. Is it an economic standard? No, it's a standard of consciousness. We have to come up to that standard of consciousness of selfless love. And what is the best way of doing it? Oh wow, yeah, just chanting Krishna's glories. This is the way. Let us glorify Krishna. Let us chant his holy names. Let us help everyone get to know about Krishna so that they can also benefit. So many people are trying to do good for this world. This is the best good. If we raise people's consciousness so that they can eventually come up to that standard so that they can go back to the spiritual world, is the best thing that we can do for anybody. And so, as Ananda Bihari Prabhu said, I have to leave 10 minutes, and 10 minutes are up here. So if anybody has any questions, comments, or really good jokes, this is the time. So William, you're up.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for class today. The last thing you said that struck me was that the Bible, and please accept my apologies. I just want to make a correction here. The Bible does mention how God does look, and it does mention that he has these qualities as a person. And he came down, it is my belief, I'm reading the Bible 3 times, that he came down as Jesus Christ. Just like he came in the expansion, Krishna came in the expansion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is my belief that he also came down, Krishna came down as Jesus Christ. And there is a lot of writings that describe what Jesus Christ looked like as a perfect man. So I just want to continue. My question, first, again, I want to thank you for a wonderful class. My question is, after hearing such a deep devotional prayer to the Lord by the King in your talk, I have a question, and please, again, accept my apologies if I misunderstood something, because I have a question between the heart and the mind. If we offer sincere prayers to Lord Krishna, it comes from the heart or the soul. Since the Bible refers to the heart as the treacherous, and it warns us to be careful not to displease the Lord. I find many similarities between the Bible and Krishna's writings in the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm a little confused as to what the heart represents in Krishna consciousness. It is my understanding that in the Bible, the heart represents the mind, and it's like Maya. So please, if you can help me.
Okay, can you clarify that last question a little bit more? Because yeah, please clarify it a little bit better.
Okay. So when we're praying to Lord Krishna, right? Deep devotional prayer.
Mhm.
Are we praying from the mind or from the soul?
Okay. Good. So, responding first to your comment. So, yeah, Lord Jesus Christ has been accepted by the acharyas to be Vibhinamsha. He's an avatar of God, but there if you look in the Lagu Bhagavatamrita, Srila Rupa Goswami gives the whole science of the avatars. There are so many different types of avatars. There's a guna avatars, there's the pastime avatars, there's so many different avatars. And Lord Jesus Christ is one of those avatars, which are the empowered incarnations of the Lord. He has said himself that he is the Son of God, and Prabhupada said he is the Son of God. So who is the Father? So when I was saying that we don't know who God is, I didn't mean that we don't know about the avatars, but specifically the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, that when he's talking about the Father, he did not reference like specifically like what the Father looked like, or at least we don't have a record of what he said about what the Father looked like. So that's what I was meaning in that sense. So good. And yeah, like I think that in the Muslims, I believe that they do talk about him being dark, that he is dark. But again, there is no like complete description of Krishna. There's like, yeah, he's dark, but what else? Like we know so much about him, and that's what we want to give to everyone. So and second, when we're praying, you're saying, are we doing it from the mind, or are we doing it from the soul? So we're doing it. We are the soul. So if it's coming, it's from us, right? But we may use our mind to do it, right? Because the mind is something that is an instrument that is helping us in this world to do things. So it is coming from us who are the soul, right? But we're doing it through the mind. So with the mind, we can create proper prayers to the Lord. With the mind, we'll remember like, oh yes, look at these very beautiful prayers that Prahlad Maharaj said. Look at these beautiful prayers that Gajendra said. Look at these beautiful prayers that Dhruva Maharaj said. And then taking on that inspiration, then we compose our prayers in light of that. In fact, if you remember there in the story of Kaliya, right? When Lord Krishna chastised the serpent Kaliya, Kaliya became a devotee, and he wanted to offer prayers to the Lord, but it says there that he didn't really know what to say, so he just basically repeated what his wives said. So his wives, he just repeated, okay, and it is said that that is the power of offering prayers, which is one of the 9 processes of devotional service, right? To offer prayers. So Prabhupada said, learn these prayers by all of these acharyas, the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the prayers of Narottam Das Thakur, the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, the prayers of all these acharyas. Learn them and say and say them, because this is you can glorify the Lord by doing that, and you're using your mind, because to learn you have to use your mind, right? You have to so you're using the mind in order to convey the love in the heart of the soul.
But we also have to be careful of the mind as well.
Yes. So that is why we're doing it through the acharyas.
Okay.
That is why we're doing it through the acharyas. They are teaching us how to do it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hari. Any other questions or comments?
Krishna, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
A wonderful class, very clear. And we're praying to Prabhupada what to say today. Krishna, Krishna consciousness is progressive. We have like 30 seconds. Maybe we'll talk later. I don't know. I can go for a few minutes. We'll see what happens. I heard a term in a conversation the day before yesterday that I hadn't heard before, and Krishna is trying to help us to how to look at Krishna consciousness and understand it and practice it. And this devotee was saying degrees of compliance. that here the ruler is trying to bring people who are at different levels of compliance with glorifying Krishna to the highest level of understanding of how Krishna is very prominent, so that they can participate and give themselves with their heart and their soul and their strength and their time and their words and their serving Krishna. So he was talking about degrees of compliance. And one thing he mentioned, which I thought was kind of interesting, he said the first degree of compliance um, is to be willing to hear what Krishna is asking us to do, yama and niyama, what to do, what not to do. And he said it, and he said in his own life, at first he heard the regulative principles and he wasn't complying with them. And he said it took me years to really actually begin to practice more carefully. But in the beginning, the first thing was to admit, just like it says, like in the 12-step meeting, at first there's denial. I don't have a problem. I'm okay. But then there's a point when you say, you know what? This is something that I'm doing that scripture says I shouldn't do. Well, this is something that Prabhupada is asking us to do that I'm not really giving my heart to yet. So the degrees of compliance begin with understanding what's right and what's not right, and then wanting it, and then gradually applying it in our life. Just a little something to share from testimony Krishna gave me, that we have different degrees of compliance, and it begins with understanding that this is what's recommended and this is what's not recommended, and then striving toward those standards. Okay, I'm sorry to start to talk so long. Glories to Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhupada. Yeah. So yeah, being willing to take on these things that are sometimes very difficult to do. That is why Krishna gives that special mercy, right? That's the little taste at the very beginning, so that we can say like, oh, actually this is worth it. Actually, there's, I want to do this because I know that there is something here, right? And so when we're asking other people to do this, first of all, we have to give them that little taste. Yes, we're going to be asking you later on for much more, but take this little thing and taste it and see that, yeah, I really want it. This is something that I'm willing to give anything for. And part of giving that taste is what is that taste really? Is the love of God. That care of God. So if you notice, a lot of times when devotees have come, they have felt that there is somebody that they can hold on to, somebody who loves them, who is showing so much appreciation for them. That is part of preaching. Preaching for us is showing God's love. That's how they know that we are that God loves them, is first through the devotees. If they can feel that love of God through the devotees, if they can trust the devotees and feel at home with the devotees, and feel like, oh yeah, you know what, this is so wonderful. I'm willing to do anything for this. Then it becomes much easier. It's like, okay, yeah, what was that you wanted me to do? Yeah, let's do it. And that is also how we sustain ourselves throughout the years. Is when we are having that interaction with the devotees. The first taste of love of God that we're going to have really is through our relationships with the devotees. That's how Krishna manifests. And then we're going to start seeing it everywhere. We're going to start seeing it in the service. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, this is wonderful. We're going to be seeing it in the japa. We're going to be seeing it in the kirtan. We're going to be seeing it in everything that we do. That little taste is so important to have constantly, and it is through the devotees that we will do.
Thank you, Mula Gopal Prabhu. Darshan time, cameras on, please, if you can.
Jai. Shri Shri Radha Bhira Gaurachandra Sima Bhagavana Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Murli Gopal Prabhu, wonderful class. Thank you very much. Do you have a few minutes for the afterglow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Would anyone like to ask a question or make a comment? If not, I have a question, Murli Gopal Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu.
So Yudhishthira wanted to perform this Raja Surya Yagya, and basically to get everyone to uh, engage in service to Krishna.
Mhm.
Uh, and if somebody wasn't up for it, there was an army. So the question is, can bhakti really be forced upon somebody who doesn't feel the urgency to engage in it, who is comfortable in this world? Can that really be forced? Is that a valid
Well,
way to share Krishna with others? Army?
you have to see what is the role of King Yudhishthira. You know, what is it? What is it? He is in a position of being uh he is the king of the world. So what are the duties of the king? You know, he has to put peace and order and like that. So uh he knows that in order to bring up, you know, there are all these people that are always at war. Generally, if you notice, uh kings are and people, they are always at war somewhere, sometime in history or another. They're at war. So he's going, okay, uh these people, we're gonna have problems with them. We're, you know, one way or another. So okay, let's engage it in devotional service. So it's not that we go out and start creating wars with people, because that is not our role. That is not, you know, if you're if you're running a bed and breakfast, you're not going to go out and, you know, force everybody to to uh, to chant Krishna's name, you know, and declare war on them, because that is not your role. You know, we can't force bhakti on others. He just saw that there are all of these kings, and that is why Krishna came at that specific point in time, if you remember, because there were all these warring kings that were overburdening the earth with their military forces. And so Yudhishthira here is addressing that. He's helping with that. It's Krishna's plan specifically to reduce that amount. So he knows Krishna's plan because he's a devotee. It's not that okay, like we're gonna go out and you know, with the sword and the Bhagavad Gita in hand, and you know, we're gonna do a crusade. You know, take the name of Krishna or die at my hand. You know,
I'm picturing
right?
Jeffrey Eckler in the helmet and
So
glasses. Yeah.
so we can't force people in that way, but we do have influence, right? Everybody's into influencer, being an influencer nowadays, right? So we do have an influence. So where are we gonna what are we gonna do with that influence? Whether we're, you know, very little people or very successful people, we have some influence. So what are we gonna do with that? That was the influence of Yudhishthira Maharaj. He had that influence over the whole world. We may have it, you know, over a group of people that share our, you know, our interests, our values, or whatever, and we can help them in that.
Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu. While you were um, making your point, I was thinking of Harinam, how we go out, we send out this Harinam, and Harinam goes out to people, and there's chanting going into their ears, whether they want it or not. So there's some kind of enforcement going on when
Yeah.
when they chant publicly. When Prasadam goes out, it's also that same horse offering everybody to be engaged in service and stop being a burden and do something nice with our life. So we
Yeah.
do go out, but differently, with Prasadam, with Harinam, with classes, with Bhaktivedanta Institute, right? It's also a way of going out, pretending to be a scientist, but being so much more than just a scientist and offering so much more than just science. Thank you, Mullah Gopal.
Yeah, true. Remember back in all the other yugas, Krishna came, and he was like firm like that. But in this yuga, specifically, as you said, Lord Chaitanya came with different weapons.
Yeah.
He came with the weapon of the holy name, of chanting, dancing, and feasting.
And yeah, gulab jamuns are the bullets.
Yes, exactly. You know, you can die in many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be socially dead.
Yeah.
Okay, William Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I think another way, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to spread Krishna consciousness. I heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, when Prabhupada was asked, how can you see a devotee? How do you know if one is a devotee? And I think Prabhupada says something like, when he's a gentleman. I think a way to spread Krishna consciousness as well, when we're not serving prasadam and we're not distributing books, when we're not, fully engaged in devotional service, we can also do our active duty by being a gentle soul and showing respect to others.
Yeah.
That's
Lady and
important.
gentlemen. Yeah.
Um, People will generally ask, what is so special about this person? There's something different about this person. Nowadays, how many real gentle men and gentle ladies are there? So when they figure out that something special is in this person, what is it? And then you can give them Krishna. If they are attracted, if they say like, oh, this person is so nice, I want to be like this person. This person is so peaceful. I want to be like this person. How do you do it? What is your secret? Here's Krishna. First, you have to open their hearts. If their hearts are closed, it's going to be impossible. First, you have to open their hearts, and then this bhakti can flow.
And the devotees are very dear to everyone, right? There's even a verse that says that. The devotees are very dear to people because they have no ego. Everybody in this world is mostly talking I, me, mine, me. But then when you come across somebody who has no ego, that's very refreshing. They genuinely care for you. They take you for who you are. And they're genuinely concerned about spreading Krishna, giving people Krishna. Not talking about I, me, mine, but talking about Krishna and genuinely care for others. That's very, very refreshing and attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a valid point, Mullah Gopal? Do you know that verse I'm talking about, where the devotee is very dear to people?
Yeah, it's in the uh, Gosvami by Srinivasacharya, where he talks about the six Goswamis being dear to both the gentle and the ruffians.
Yeah.
They're dear to everyone.
Yes.
Why? Because they care. They actually care. It's so rare for people to care about anybody other than themselves, right? In this world, see most of the advertisements in social media and everywhere, it's all about take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, like that. But it's like, okay, well, what about doing it to others as well? No, but first you. It's like, oh yes, great. I love that message. That first me, yes, I love that message. Heart. But it's like how about like doing it, having that mentality. Obviously, you have to take care of yourself and everything, that to be healthy like that. But the idea is, how many people are doing it for others? It's not that many. And so when somebody feels that, it's like, oh, somebody's actually nice to me. Somebody actually cares about me. That is why it's so important when we're preaching, that we give that love, that we give that care to everyone. Let them, show them, really like, yeah, look, this is the spiritual world, caring about each other, loving each other, with Krishna in the center.
Right. Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Yeah, it's boring. Enjoy this, enjoy that. So what? I've tried. I want to be happy differently. I want to be happy by serving others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Anybody wants to speak? Please unmute yourself. If not, oh, Narottam Nitai. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for the class, and I know you had requested like a joke, so my joke is like thanks for giving us the Santa Claus, so to speak, the clause of how to be a saint, in the sense of what you conveyed with the class is using our talents to glorify Krishna, and therefore satisfying that. So that's all I have for a joke, but I hope it satisfies Hare Krishna.
Santa Claus. Thank you very much, Narottam Prabhu.
Jay. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Somebody was begging. It's when you go out to the park, there's just so many characters. They're just waking up. And I should have had some prashanam on me. Feel bad. But we'll pray for that person. Please, Krishna, bless his heart. And mine too. Thank you, Murli Gopal. Wonderful class. You're a wonderful devotee. We see how happy you are in bhakti. And that is preaching. It's important what's being spoken and also who's speaking. So we can tell that you're genuinely happy by doing service. That's very contagious and inspiring.
That's what Lord Chaitanya told Sanatana Goswami, right? What was it? Or I can't remember if it was Lord Chaitanya or Haridas Thakur. I believe it was Haridas Thakur, maybe. That some people they have good character, and some people preach nicely. You have both. So
yeah.
So we're supposed to do both of them. Have good character and preach.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. Thank you, Murli Gopal Prabhu. Okay, Isaiah, are you ready? Yeah, he was waiting for it. Go ahead, Isaiah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Isaiah. Okay, this was the class. Happy Saturday, everybody. Karen, thank you so much for Isaiah and Annabelle. Murli Gopal, thank you for class. William, thank you for all the biblical revelations and quotes. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Have a wonderful day. We love you. We need you. Hare Krishna.